So tonight we have the wonderful Melanie as our guest for the night. Lisa will be back with us shortly. Gareth has a dope topic that we're gonna expound on. Go ahead, brother. Take it away.
Yeah, how to parent differently from your parents.
Break that down a little bit more.
What I mean by that is, a lot of us, as a result of us just being who we are as human beings, a lot of us have been traumatized by our parents or by our mothers and fathers. Like I always tell people, there's a difference between being a father or a mother and being a parent,
Okay.
right? Being a father or a mother is the exclusive result of pregnancy as a result of somebody fucking.
Right.
That's what fatherhood and motherhood is. But parenthood means that you individually invest yourself fully into your child or into your children because you want them to have a better life than you had.
Hmm.
Even if you yourself had a great life, you still want your children to have a better life than you had.
What was
Unfortunately, a lot of us don't have parents. We just have fathers or mothers. And
Mhm.
some of us don't even have fathers or mothers.
I even think to tag on to that some parents are just shitty parents and they don't care about their kids. They're more so they're just going through the notion of having a child. And then when it gets difficult, it's just like, well, whatever. Like they just throw their child to the wind. Now, if their child is successful or just so happens that they invest in their child to become a superstar or a super athlete or something like that, and they make it, then you see the parent there glorifying and just happy I was there through the hard times. But if their child doesn't make it, it's like, oh well, I tried to tell them, you know what I mean? But did you tried to tell them, but did you try to do? Did you try to lay out and create a foundation, a healthy foundation for your child, and you being there for your child, not just raising your child, but actually physically being there for your child? And that's just to piggyback off of, my thoughts on what you shared with the
Yeah,
topic. What
yeah,
about you, Melanie?
Yeah, I'm very different than how my parents were. And I agree, Gareth, that a lot of us have trauma from our childhoods, and especially being children of Black Americans because of what Black Americans have gone through historically. I think, but then you think about culturally too, other races with melanin, for the most part, they all believe in corporal punishment. To what levels of corporal punishment? I think that has kind of diminished over generations. Um, uh, I didn't, I think I stopped getting raised. My mom left when I was on my way to ninth grade. So between eighth and ninth grade, my dad lost custody of us the next year. The mom that I am with my girls, they are they are my world. And I mean, and I go, I am extremely protective over them. And I'm that way because of my own childhood, which is why I kind of like don't believe in hurt people. I think that's a bullshit excuse.
I want to hear why
But
you believe that's a bullshit excuse. I want a
yeah.
because
I respect the
definition.
reason why she
I
said
was
that.
hurt. I mean, rest in peace to my dad, but like right after my mom left, my dad broke my nose pretty fast.
Hmm.
I am so he was very abusive. I mean, one of the last things that he beat us with was 2x4s.
Hmm.
I spanked my kids, but I never like abused my kids or anything like that. And that's why I call bullshit on hurt people because I didn't even know how to raise teenagers or young ladies because nobody raised me. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so I got two things on that. Excuse me, Gareth. Let me
Hmm.
just go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
throw this in there. So one thing, I know what you're talking about because with my mother, I experienced that. My mother was very physical with me, and I thought I, as an adult, I understand now that it could have been an extension from my biological father and her relationship or the disdain she probably had for him, though another man raised me, who I call my father, who I love to death. But when my mother used to beat me, it was like beatings, like closed fist, hit with actual irons, extension cords. Like it was, it was as if I was a stranger. That's one. Now the hurt people.
She beat you because she couldn't beat your father
Okay, and I believe
Mhm.
that. So I was an extension of that, and that's what I kind of hear when I'm hearing you
vicariously.
talk, Melanie. But Gary, before you go on, I also wanted to say the reason why I can believe in the hurt people, because of that. I wasn't equipped with proper tools on how to treat women I was in relationships with. But when it comes to my children, I love and want to protect my children. But when it comes to relationships, that's where the hurt people aspect comes from. So I disagree with you when calling bullshit on the hurt people. We don't want to hurt our children, but still, we may hurt someone along the line because of the hurt that we've received and
Yeah,
of the
other
hurt.
than your kids, maybe. I mean,
Right.
some people, I definitely can probably admit to that in a relationship.
Okay.
I can definitely say that. Now, as far as parenting, I I I definitely was not the best parent.
Hmm.
And I'm sure a lot of my fault in parenting was also a result of my upbringing. But I've always tried to be self-aware and very reflective. And I'm an overthinker, but in relationships, for sure, for
Okay.
sure.
Makes sense.
Sure.
And I'm
Because
sorry for
I
cutting you off,
think
Garrett.
children have abandonment issues. I know I can probably say I have
Okay.
abandonment issues from my childhood. So I can definitely see that being transposed into my relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I want to bring it back to parenting, but I
Yeah.
just seen how
No,
that
no, no. This is part
correlated.
of it. This is
Right.
part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is definitely part of it. The reason why I respect what Melody mentioned the first time about the whole concept hurt people being bullshit. The reason why I respect what she said is because meaning there's never a justification to hurt another person just because you were hurt.
Hmm.
See, a lot of time when people say hurt people, they like to give themselves or other people pseudo justifications to oppress other people the way
Hmm.
they were oppressed.
Hmm.
So in that context, hurt people is bullshit.
I can see that. You know what? The reason why I don't know in my head the way I'm processing it is I disagree with that so much because my head processes hurt people in the regards of you have a man, right? For his he's been in a bad relationship with his mother. His mother beat him. All of the women in his life growing up has harmed him,
Right.
sexually, physically, verbally.
Any way humanly
Right,
imaginable. Right.
anyway, humanly, but this is in the shadows. Nobody knows.
Right.
However, when that man gets older, he's gonna protect his sister. He's gonna protect the woman who he loves and who showed him love. But when it comes to the relationship of that woman who's foreign to him, who he's trying to build that relationship with, and he's trying to work things out. If she slights him or does anything that makes his mind revert back to what his mother did or any of those women who hurt him, then that can be a spark or it could be something that it flickers him to like whatever he had held in that he couldn't protect himself from when he was young, he reverts back to that. Now he's in a stature of being able to protect himself. So he lashes out. So this is where I see the hurt people kind of analogy. But though I agree with you, where some people they can use it as a crutch, but then you have some people who don't know that they're hurting people or they don't know why they're hurting people because they don't have the tools and they're not aware of where that hurt or where that anger is festering within them is coming from.
And just like you mentioned, that any type of trauma that we endure relative to how old we were when that abuse began, anytime we're triggered by someone or something, we revert back to the ages when that abuse started. And it could be any type of trauma, any type of abuse.
And
Let's say, for example, somebody went through trauma when they were like 4 or 5. If something triggers that, they start acting like a 4 or 5 year old,
yes,
in spite of the fact that they might be in their 40s or 50s.
yes, absolutely. What is that called? What is the term, the proper terminology for that, Garrett?
ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. So
Hmm.
the way that works is, like, a term that I coined for it is social inheritance. But the behavioral scientific, the human behavioral term is the acronym ACE, which is adverse childhood experiences. So basically, what that means is that for every human being from the second trimester in the wombs of our mothers up until age 10, any and all of our human experiences, regardless of whether those experiences are positive or negative, they have the potential to perpetually affect us as long as we live.
Well, how do
So
you deprogram
I
that?
was about to say that. What are tools that
That's an excellent question. I don't have the answer because
Mm.
some things can't be repaired. Some things can't be fixed.
I think that's the
Sometimes
excuse.
no. I'm talking about like for real. Like for example, if a person has been sexually abused by their parent, no, not their parent, their father or their mother,
Right.
that type of abuse ain't no fixing that. You
Can
can
they
learn to
learn
live
tools?
with it. You can learn to live with it. You can learn to still live a good life in spite of that. But ain't no fixing that.
So how
Those
do you
scars, those type of scars stay with a person for life. That doesn't mean that those scars define who that person ends up being, but those scars stay with that person. Those type of
okay,
scars, it
right.
stays with you.
So with that being shared, when it comes to engaging with individuals who have experienced that, is it on us if we are aware of it to handle them delicately?
Yes.
Okay. But
Yes.
if you don't know that because they may not share that information, do you
You
still
may not
handle
know
with
exact
care?
details, but if you're in tune with human nature and human behavior, you know something is up.
Right. You can
You
identify.
may not know exactly, but you get a good sense. And here's the thing that I know from like being a chaplain, being a counselor, being a therapist. If somebody knows that you give a damn, they're gonna tell you what's wrong with them.
Hmm.
If someone knows that you genuinely care about them, they're gonna open up. They're gonna make themselves vulnerable. They're gonna trust you. They're gonna respect you. They're gonna trust you. They're gonna share their life with you.
Hence
They're
therapy
gonna
being so
articulate. They're gonna express themselves. Once they truly believe and or know that you really care, they're gonna pour out to you.
okay. Hence
You
mental
you you
hence
won't have to ask certain things.
right. Hence therapy being extremely important in our community especially.
Yes, I mean therapy
I
works.
mean I
Now,
mean
now
across the
I do
board.
agree. I do agree that therapy is not for everybody,
Hmm.
but therapy works.
Yes,
If you know for a fact you need it,
right.
you have a personal obligation to pursue it.
But it only works if you use it because you got some people who go to therapy just to say they went to therapy and they don't
That's true.
utilize the acquired tools that they are learning or that they're being taught while going through therapy.
Exactly, because you always have homework,
Right,
but
exactly.
you don't
And
you
Right.
that's
don't do
one
the
thing, yes.
homework. Or they
Yeah.
say when you face the situation, that's when you need to exercise what I'm telling you to exercise when you find yourself there. And if you don't do that, then it negates. And that's like self-destruction. But then when we bring up parenting, well, now you're not only hurting yourself, but you're hurting these people that
Who look
you're
up to you.
responsible for.
Yeah. And that's how we repeat toxic cycles.
It's a vicious cycle because when we look at the genre and the times as they go on, Gareth, I remember I mentioned to you, or I think I mentioned this to someone, and it was unfortunately this may really bother some people, but a lot of our mothers were very promiscuous. And
That's
that
that's a
promiscuous,
hard conversation that
yes,
men specifically don't want to admit to.
yes. And when I say that, even now when I look at what I go through as a man, and I look at the eras of the 70s into the 80s and how men, I want to say even possibly the 60s into the 70s, they were there, they were present. Even if there wasn't a father, the community was more present. Hey, don't do that. I'm gonna tell your mother, or if you do that, I'm gonna bust your butt and take you to your mother or take you to your father.
Yeah.
Then I want to say maybe the 80s, 90s, it kind of got looser. It kind of got like, hey,
That
you
concept of
can't tell
community is
me.
damn near non-existent.
Yeah, it started as it's been going on, but I say all of that to say, um, where you have people now who don't want to get involved with certain things. They just want to be a spectator on what's going on and don't want to involve themselves in any capacity because the ramifications of involving yourself could either be deadly or it could the consequences of you can go to prison. It's like
Yeah.
an extreme.
Yeah.
I don't know where the middle went, but it's like an extreme now. I don't know. I know I was going somewhere else, but I think I kind of lost
No,
myself
no,
in that.
no. I'm glad you mentioned this.
Yeah.
In our community specifically, it went from it takes a village to don't say nothing to my child.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're absolutely. And I think that was our era. That was our don't talk to my child, don't touch my child. And then I
And
think now it's more of you can't tell me nothing because my opinion matters. Because of the internet, social media.
Oh yeah.
I'm the main character now. So it went from
Yeah.
you can't tell me what to do or my child, you can't tell us what to do, to now it's I whatever I say holds power.
Yeah.
No fact
Be-
checked in. Sorry.
because everybody got a platform,
Yeah.
and because of that, everyone thinks that they have a voice. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I think social media, I think people leaving their their communities, and then I think it's also systemic disruption of community values,
Hmm.
all by design. I mean, especially in US history. It's always been strategic to destroy the Black family. It's always been that way. And so then what do we start doing? We start looking at jobs in other places because you guys grew up in the same area,
Hmm.
but now you live in Texas.
Hmm.
So things take us apart, they disrupt the community. You're not going to give a new neighbor the autonomy of being part of your village when I don't know you.
Right.
I don't know you.
That is true. But you know what? To even piggyback on that, even if you don't know the person, do you trust or can you trust their leadership in protecting your child? Because let's even say with staying in that wavelength, if your child goes outside and something happens and your neighbor sees something happen to your child and you're like, you didn't do anything, if your child gets attacked by a random dog or something, you'll look at your neighbor like, why you didn't do anything? Because if it was your child, I would have did that. It's a
Right.
character thing. And then going back to like how we're seeing these children in school, they're fighting teachers. Not to say that we didn't see kids fighting teachers. We had metal detectors in our high schools and even some
Yeah.
junior high schools. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we knew the kids was dangerous, but we was dangerous towards one another. If we went at a teacher, it was rare that a kid went at a teacher. Maybe they felt disrespected or something. But now it's just like these kids don't care. Like they just
Super
straight looking
commonplace.
off
Super
on
commonplace.
teachers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's
But
like
that's a
now,
reflection of them doing that in their homes.
right? So that's the extension of you can't even share with these kids because it's an extreme. If you want to reach out and talk to these kids, you're really putting your life on the line because these kids will murk you in a heartbeat and don't think twice about it. Like it's a video game. Everything is Grand Theft to them.
Or they'll
Fortnite.
tarnish your name to the point of no return.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
And the way how
yeah,
social media is,
You
it'll
have to
spread
keep a
like
respectful
wildfire.
distance from these children. Yeah,
Yes.
you have to keep a respectful distance from these young
Yes.
people because we live in
Yes.
a treacherous world, and
Yes.
anyone can get accused of anything. None
And
of us
you'll
are immune from that.
and you'll spend a lifetime trying to clear your name from the negative that was put on it. And it was all
Yep,
false.
yep.
And that's a scary thing.
yeah, yeah. And now with social media, I mean, we have the world at our fingertips now. For me as a teenager, I didn't have a lot of respect for adults.
Mm.
Adults had always been a letdown, so it was a joke. To this day, I don't respect my elders just because you're older than me, because hoes get old, pimps get old, liars get old. I mean, pieces of shit age. So respect is earned, respect is not automatically given by me.
No, I agree
I
with that
want
100%. Yeah. No, I tell people all the time. There's a difference between an elder and an old nigga.
I mean,
It's a
facts.
very important difference.
Yes.
Eldership is something that is earned. Being old just means that Allah just allowed you to live long. That's it.
That's it.
You having a long life don't qualify you being an elder.
Mm-hmm.
What you put into yourself and what you put into others, the type of work you put in, that's what qualifies you to be an elder.
Yeah.
Mm,
Not just you be having a long life.
mm.
Yeah.
So, Melody, it's not necessarily a challenge, but I want to say this to you. You are blessed because one, you are a woman. You gave birth to your babies and you are able to be there for them day in and day out. For myself, that is originally my reason for moving to Texas to be in my daughter's life. Wound up having a son while I was out here. And I pissed mom off, you know what I mean? And I was wrong. And the things that I've done, I can definitely admit to that. However, I pay for it because I have no involvement with my children. And what the hurdles that I have to go through to be in my children's life, it freaking sucks. And I can say that I have to hold myself accountable because I did create some of them. But since I pissed moms off, it's like, oh, I am going to feel it. And that part sucks because it hinders the child. I don't even consider myself a parent because I'm not there. I'm not involved. The person that whoever the mom decides to be with, they're more of a parent than I am, and that's not even a longevity kind of setup. You know what I mean? And my it's like I failed my children, but how can I say that I failed my children when it's not even really my fault? I had a part to play in it, but I'm being the consequences that I and the ramifications that I'm receiving for it is not my doing. I am receiving that because someone is mad at me. So now the child is paying for it
And they're
because
using the
whatever we,
children as leverage.
right, exactly. And whatever we got going on, that's us. You know what I'm saying? But that child,
Right.
I want to give my everything to. And then it
It's
even
always
sucks
the
because
children that suffer the most in those type of
regardless,
situations.
regardless of what happens.
Always.
And it's like when I see children that are harmed by a boyfriend or a girlfriend, it pisses me off because that child didn't have a
Never
chance and
deserves
that
those
child was
things. Yeah.
vulnerable. And
Yeah.
then what is the parent going to say? They don't even lock the parent up. You know what I'm saying? When I tell you it boils my blood, it boils my blood. And I say all of that to say is when it comes to being a parent, going back to that having to wait an extended amount of time until a child is older, the child may hate you, the child may not even want to hear you out. And I go back to like my biological father, it makes me think like, damn, I remember my half sister coming to visit me one day, and me and my brother was sitting on a stoop in the east. And she came up to me, she was like, hey, you know I'm your half sister, or whatever, whatever. She was talking to me. I was like, yeah, man, I wasn't even trying to hear what she had to say. I'm like, yo, I ain't really feeling what you're saying. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I was being a nigga, you know what I'm saying? And my brother, I was like, you're not my family. Like, and now I was like, yo, how fucking stupid am I? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even take the time out to learn about my biological father, learn what happened. You know what I'm saying? And I feel bad about that because I could possibly be my dad and I don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? I just know what I'm going through and what other men are going through. And I say, and I want to add on, like, even to this day and age, like sometimes I'd be like, damn, I could have been a burden to my stepdad. And it bothers me now because I love him more than anything. And it's just like, damn, did I hold him back from doing certain things? Did he love this woman so much that he decided to just give it all up and focus on her when he didn't even have to? Even though they had my sisters and brothers, but I think about that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm lucky. He raised me. He taught me martial arts. He taught me things. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yo, all I could do now is just pray that my children get the same thing that I got. So this topic really touches on a lot of levels for me. So
Yeah, man. Yeah. Because like you said, when people be playing in your face and children are involved,
yeah,
they don't even care about
yeah,
the
I
fact
have
that
no
the
understanding,
children suffer.
and unfortunately, I had to pay for that because people be like, "Yo, like why you did what you did?" And it's like, "Yo, it's levels to why I spazzed out like how I did." I don't play with my children. I don't play with children. Period. If I see something happening to a child outside, I'll risk my life for that child, and I shouldn't even have to say that because let it happen and you'll see it. You feel me? And it's so sad that I played my trump card already. I don't have the fortitude to go out there and make another mistake because if I do, that's gonna be the rest of my life.
That's your third strike,
That's
basically.
it.
Yeah.
I'm done. It's a wrap. And now I gotta live life on eggshells because I already played my hand and I played my hand foolishly. So now when I sit back and I fall back and whenever something go down and I'm like, yo, I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm good. I'm being looked at in a certain like, oh, why you ain't fight for it? Why you ain't, you know what I'm saying? And bro, when I was
It's
watching that
easy to
whole,
say something like that when you're not in somebody else's shoes.
you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yo, like I'm telling you, man, it's a lot of strays that have been shot, but it's like, you know what? I accept it. I accept that I made a mistake. I accept that this is my life, and all I can do is do the best with what I have, and I'm gonna do the best with what I have. You know what I'm saying? But I know one thing for sure: my children, they love me, and my children, they know who I am. So regardless
And
of
that's
whatever
important.
happens, you know what I'm
That's
saying? Like
important.
as
Yeah.
long
And
as you do that, then you good. And I mean, it's tough. I'm not gonna sit here and lie like it's not. It's really tough. It's really, really tough.
and that's why, even when I talked about my dad, I don't have hard feelings. Like I have no anger. He grew up very violent. His father killed his mother.
Mm.
Um,
Wow.
I've always been a strong advocate for the black man, for the black father, because he did the best he could. And there's a difference. There's a difference between a parent who just shows up to do the bare minimum, and who doesn't have a bad history,
Hmm.
and a parent who shows up whose history is fucked up, but they still try and they give
Right.
the best
Yeah.
that they can. And I can say that my dad did that.
Hmm.
For the most part, he was pretty cool. And then, he was military. He had really bad PTSD. He had childhood trauma, and I empathize with that. And I am a woman who is probably more supportive of men and very critical on women. Um, and and I empathize with men, and you have more obstacles against you. And I see more women abuse their power as the mother because the law sides more with the mom, erroneously.
Naturally, the
Naturally.
courts
Yeah.
Yep.
is a much higher probability that a woman will always win in family court.
Hmm.
And it's
And
crazy
and, I, and
because
I've
then we
seen
talk
it
about
growing up.
abuse.
I've seen crackheads have full custody of all their children.
When pops would do a way better job,
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
a
yeah.
way better job.
I've literally witnessed that. I've seen it. Yeah.
We living in some real
And like
unique
you
times.
said, that was by design. That was structured purposely.
With this information that we have, we can implement or at least share tools on how to become better and or do better. One of my thoughts and what I've been working on myself is learning to be present. I have a hard time of letting things go, but it's letting things go and stepping away from self. And I can't lie because I don't know if it's a Brooklyn thing, Garrett, but I feel like once you cross that line or once you disrespect, you on the other side, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't trust you, I don't rock with you because you crossed that line. You know what I'm saying?
Well, every human being has a human right to have non-negotiables.
Right.
Every
But
that's a human right. Every human has a right to have things that if you cross this, we're done.
right.
Every human being has that right.
I struggle with that, still knowing that I have to coexist with this person to raise this being to the best
Right.
of, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's tough because you have to
Because you
own up to
can't you
things.
can't you can't be like, man, fuck them kids.
Yeah,
I'm
you
doing me.
can't, you
No.
can't, you can't. Even if
Right.
you want to, you can't. And
Right.
you have, and what's tough for me is even acting like I wasn't right when I was right, just to satisfy the mother. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
mean, once again, I've done things that, hey, non-negotiable on her side, and I get it, but it's not about us. And I hate the fact that some parents they still feel like they want to go out there, they want to club. Once you have a kid, all that shit is done. You all that shit is out your system. It's not about you no more. It's about that child. It's
And
about
I
that
tell people
little
that all the
one.
time. I
Yeah,
tell people that all the time.
it's
It's easy to move.
crazy.
It's easy to move how you want to move when you're not responsible for nobody.
Right.
Once you're responsible for somebody,
All
You're
that shit is out the
obligated to you're
window.
obligated to move differently. Now,
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that you will move differently,
right.
but you
You
have to recognize and accept the reality that you are obligated to move differently. Because,
yes,
like you said, it's not about you no more.
no. And going back
Yeah.
to what you said, Melanie, I've observed certain mothers just giving bare minimum. But don't tell them they a bad mother. Don't question what they got going on, because they'll fight you tooth and oh well, I got her and this, I got the child, and it's just like, yeah, you got the child, but you ain't really doing with a child out right now. With your moms, with a family member, where you at? You here. You not
I'm
with your
glad you mentioned
child.
that.
Yeah.
You have certain women, they will give their child
Yeah.
to anyone except
But
the father.
and that's crazy, and that's when the child dies. That's when the freaking man, bro. I gotta slow
Yeah.
down, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
slow
It's
down,
real
And
life
bro.
though.
people who regret having their kids when it's really so short. Let's say if we live to be 100 years, only 18% of it is child rearing. If
Mhm.
you only have one child that goes to 18 years old, then they're 18. It's a short chapter, and that's your damn job. Once you get pregnant and you're gonna have a baby,
That's
just
what
do
you
your
sign
job.
up for.
It's your
Yeah,
Do your
responsibility. Yeah, it's
job.
your
yeah.
responsibility. Your God-given responsibility because you birthed that child.
But then you want all the accolades
Yeah.
and you don't want any of
Are the
you don't want to take
ramifications.
accountability.
None of the toil. You want all of the
Exactly.
reward, but none of the toil. Yeah.
It's
Yep.
wow. That's and yeah, this one, girl, I don't know if you was doing your homework, but this one really touched home for me. So
Man, as soon
I
as
mean,
you said the
honestly,
topic,
this is
I'm
what I
like,
do on a regular basis. Like
yeah,
I counsel people based on stuff like this on a regular basis.
right.
I bought
So
a
yeah.
book. I went to a bookstore. I think it's in Third Ward. I went to a bookstore and bought a book, and it's and I haven't started it yet, but it's basically guiding you on how not to cancel people because I am the exact same way. If you cross me, there's there's I never spin the block. I never like when I'm done, I'm done. Um, if it's egregious, I mean, just never cross my path again, ever again, because I think because of my childhood, I am a loyalist.
Mm.
I ride, if you are with me, I ride to the end. Now, the bad thing is I ride way harder than most people ride back for me. And if you cross me, it's easy. It's real easy just be like, done. But I got a book that's supposed to try to help me.
What's the name of that
Maybe.
book?
I was trying to look, it's in my room on my
How
nightstand.
far is it? You want to go and grab it so you can share it? Because I'm gonna post it in our thing after this.
Yeah, let me grab it. Let me
All right.
grab it because it
Look,
is
we
by
only got
West
2 minutes.
Office.
We got two
Okay.
minutes, so yeah, Garrett. That's a tough one, man. I really wonder what Lisa would have had to say on this one.
I think we both know what she would have had to say.
Yeah, right. We got an idea. We got an idea.
Yeah.
That's our girl, oh man. That's our
Yeah,
sister.
for sure, for sure, for sure. But yeah, this was very worthwhile conversation because it helps to peel back the surfaces of what's rooted and what
Right,
really traumatizes people, what really hurts people, and it's very important to unearth that.
right. It
It's very
absolutely
important
is.
to expose those layers of because a lot of people suffer in silence
Right.
about their past trauma, how it affects their lives, how it generationally affects their children, how it affects the way that they communicate and engage with their children, how it affects how they parent or how they don't parent.
Hmm.
It's all connected, bro.
Yeah, you're right. All right, Melly, it's on you.
All right, here's the book.
Calling in.
Oh, nice, nice, nice.
No, I haven't read that
Cool,
one.
cool, cool.
Definitely got to look
Yeah.
into
There's
that.
another book. I don't know what Melanie whether you've ever come across it, but Luke has the audio book. I
Yeah,
was
I'm
telling him
listening.
about it.
I'm listening to it
It's
on
called the book.
repeat.
It's called The Courage to Be Disliked.
Okay.
By what is it? Akit Ichiro. Ichiro's one of the authors. I'll send it to you, Melody,
Yeah,
after this.
yeah. But in my opinion, just like I was telling Luke, in my opinion, that book, The Courage to Be Disliked, in my opinion, that's one of the best books ever authored in the English language.
Very, very
Nice.
good book. Well, we
Yeah.
got less than a minute, y'all, so we're gonna wrap this up. Just want to say thank y'all for taking the time out to watch this. And you guys got anything you want to share?
Hey, I thank you guys for what you guys are doing. I think we need more Black men talking, being vulnerable, and talking about mental health and
Definitely.
sharing your pain so that maybe some idiotic women out there can hear